Dummy, yeah.
Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the All Even Podcast. My name is Barry Grant Jr. You can catch the show on Instagram at All Even Podcast, at All Even Media on TikTok, All Even Podcast on X. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm all over the place. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend because the page is growing. There's no Silent Assassin. There's no Claude. There's no Jimmy. But there is me. I am live on a Friday night. And you know how we get down on a Friday night. So before I even get into any of the topics and all that, hit the music, man. Hit the music. That's what I'm talking about, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got Joe Burrow possibly coming back. Shedeur time. What's going on with the Lakers? There's big changes with the Lakers. We got Jets news. We got Mets news. We got Pistons news. We talking about the Pistons on the show. Yeah. That's how we do it on a Friday night. What's up, y'all? I got a lot to say. Like always. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you started off. That's how you started off. So like I said, we got a lot to discuss. Anybody want to tell me about Thursday night football? Y'all can. Y'all go ahead. The Bills, they do this, right? They go ahead and they look like world beaters one week, and then they look like they're completely confused one week. They can't protect Josh Allen. They don't know what the hell's going on, right? So, I'm more concerned about Shedeur. I'm more concerned about those Jets. I'm more concerned about other stuff that's going on. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. The biggest news for me, outside of Joe Burrow possibly returning, Shedeur's finally going to get his real shot, right, is the Lakers. What's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers? That's my team. That's my bloodline. Like, I love the Lakers, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows me. They know I love the Lakers. What's going on? We heard that Joey and Jesse Buss were relieved of their scouting duties. They are no longer a part of any front office dealings with the organization. They still have that their minority stake in the company, but they have been let go. And obviously there's reporting out there. They put out a statement. Jesse Buss had an interview and he discussed some things that I want to go ahead and talk about as well. He went ahead and talked about just the fact that the writing was on the wall. Like, he felt that this was coming, especially like when the sale went through. He knew that he was probably going to be the odd man out. And he said he felt like this, like, he's been dealing with the health issue over the last couple of years. We don't know exactly what it is, and he doesn't want to disclose that. That's fine. That's his business. But he said that he's been dealing with this health issue since about 2023. And when he returned to the team, everything was changed. Everything was different. Like, Jesse and Joey Buss, like, when you think about the guys that they have really put their finger on in regards to scouting, Alex Caruso, you got Austin Reeves, you have Kyle Kuzma, you have, like, these guys have found some gems in the draft in the second round. So they've been doing the due diligence and really have taken their job seriously within the organization. Problem is when your sister's the boss, she's the governor, and y'all not seeing eye to eye, of course that's not going to go well, right? That's the whole problem. Is that the fact that there was some riff, I don't know what the hell happened. It got to be a power struggle. She had a power struggle with what's his name? Jim Buss. She had a power struggle with him, kicked his ass out, right? And she looked at them like, y'all motherfuckers next. Y'all next, y'all in my way, right? So once Mark Walter got in charge, he bought the team. She was like, yo, I'll stay around, but can you be able to get those other dudes out? Listen, they voted against you, Mark. They were the only ones here that didn't want you guys to be the majority stake owners here. I was fine with it, but they didn't want it. Of course, they didn't want it. They wanted to keep the team within the family. It's been a family-run organization for 40 plus years. But Jeanie Buss really kind of angled her way into pushing her brothers out, and keeping her position and keeping Rob Pelinka's position together. Just dirty. It just feels dirty. You know what I'm saying? And with Mark Walter, obviously, they did this with the Dodgers. They have success with the Dodgers. So Joey and Jesse are out. Jesse hopes to have some type of rekindling with his sister. He hasn't really spoken to his sister in like 5 plus months. They haven't talked to Rob Pelinka. You already know Rob Pelinka is a snake like that. Like, you see, him and Magic went through it, right? So we've seen these things with them. But let's talk about the other side of it. Let's talk about what this actually means for the basketball side of things for the Lakers. You have Mark Walter. He's a guy that's behind the Dodgers, and they have a dynasty that's in place right now. They have probably the best front office in baseball. I think they've been elected by the other teams and execs that they're the best ran front office in Major League Baseball. And it shows, right? Their analytic department, their scouting department, their facilities, their biometrics, everything is top notch for the Dodgers to be top tier of where they are. And there's two guys behind that. And I want to go ahead and highlight them because Mark Walter is a smart guy and he hires smart people to do the job. So you always have to make sure that when you are not somebody who's privy or really knows the ins and outs of certain things, you want to make sure you go ahead and hire the right people, right? So Dodgers executives, Andrew Friedman and Farhan Zaidi, they're going to be on the advisory role for the Lakers in regards to putting certain staff in place, improving the analytic department, expanding the scouting department. And that's big because these guys know what they're doing. These guys understand the sporting landscape. They understand Los Angeles. They understand what the market is. And this is not baseball where there's no cap. Of course, there's going to be challenges in regards to how they're going to be able to manipulate what the product looks like on the court. But off the court, there is no cap. So they can be able to go get as many scouts and have the biggest departments. They can do whatever the hell they want to do. And that's what I was talking about in regards to when they switched this over, this was going to be the situation with this organization, is that they're going to put the right people in charge. They're going to go ahead and make sure that everything on the front office side of things is going to be running smoothly. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it, right? The biggest issue I do see, though, is that they let go Joey and Jesse at one of the most clutch times for scouting. You have the season starting up. There's tournaments right now and all this other stuff. And this is when you want to have your scouts going to these tournaments, going to these games, researching, doing all of these things. And if they don't have their guys there right now doing the business, it's a concern. It's definitely a concern to be able to make sure that you're getting ahead of the curve. You don't want to fall behind the curve, but they do have the resources that if they do fall behind the curve, they can be able to, make up some ground in regards to that because they have the resources, because they know exactly what they're doing. And now I as a Laker fan, I'm excited. I am sad for the Buss family just because they've been around for this long. It's been a mom and pop organization. We know, we love Jerry Buss, rest his soul. Jeanie took it over. She was supposed to be the new Jerry Buss, and that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot of responsibility, and there's too many cooks in the kitchen. She's listening to Linda Rambis. She's listening to Kurt Rambis. She's listening to this guy, to this guy, to this guy. She's listening to Pelinka. Like, it's just too many things going on. And with Mark Walter's like, look, I'm going to keep you in charge, but you better make sure that you make the right decisions. Because if I have to come up here and let your ass go, I will do so. And I will walk you and Rob Pelinka out the goddamn door. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, is that she got to make sure that there's this advisory board. There's these board of people that goes over these things and talks about what the plan is, what the future holds, what the short-term goals are, what the long-term goals are, what the medium goals, all of these things. Now they're going to have a trusted team of basketball people that are making decisions. Not just your homie, Linda Rambis, not just her husband, that has been one of the worst coaches. And I just get him out. Get him out too, right? Like, that's what you want. You want real basketball people in here. Hell, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. They may have to get homeboy from that used to run Golden State. What's his name? Bob Myers. Get him in here. Get him in here. Get Bob Myers in here. I would love that. I would love that. Because you know what you're getting out of Bob Myers. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Lakers are going to be destination basketball or destination organization for a lot of NBA players, for a lot of guys that are like, on the come up, that say, hey, listen, I want to make sure that I try to see if I can make the Lakers because I want to be Austin Reeves. Like, I may not be able to be LeBron James. I may not be able to be Luka, but I can be Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is the model that a lot of these guys that are coming out of college that weren't highly scouted, weren't highly drafted, they're probably not going to go first round or even early second round. They're probably going to get drafted somewhere in the second round. And they're saying, rather than me getting drafted in the second round, I'd rather just be an undrafted free agent and go where I want to go and have an opportunity, right? So that's where I see a lot of the Lakers' resources are going to be able to put in and really be able to help this team go to the next level and be consistent. Because with the new salary cap, with the new CBA, you have to make sure that you have cheap talent that you can be able to manipulate and have under control for a good amount of years before you have to give them max money or whatever it is, right? You have to be able to have roster control, roster flexibility. And with these two guys coming in, yeah, they're not basketball guys, but they are advisors, and they can be able to say, hey, listen, I know a couple of basketball dudes that would love this job. I know a couple of basketball guys that would love this job. I know a couple of great high IQ guys that can be able to really help the Lakers organization be where we want it to be. So let's go ahead and bring those guys in. So I'm excited about it. I'm saddened for the Buss family. Again, like I said, I think Jeanie kicked both of her brothers down the steps and looked at Mark Walton and was like, see, yeah, did what you asked. I did what you asked, Mark. You know what I mean? They were the ones that said it. They didn't want you here. I never said that. You know what I mean? That shit, if this whole family drama just feels like an episode of Succession. That's what it feels like. It's sad. It's really sad. But at the end of the day, we as Laker fans, we love to see our teams do well. We want to see our teams continue the success that they've been having lately. And we want to see them be in championship contention, whether it's this year or whether it's many years to come down the road. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want. That's all we want as Laker fans. Like, I know Laker fans are very crazy. Some of us are unhinged, right? Some of us are unhinged. I'm not even gonna like downplay that. Some of us are unhinged. Like we tend to want to be like, oh well, everybody wants to be a Laker. Nah, not yet. Not yet. But this is a good step. Mark Walter said, listen, can't work here. You work somewhere else. You can't work here. And Jeanie, make sure that you on your best behavior too, because you and Rob are going to be the next thing out the door if y'all don't do exactly what we want y'all to do, and make sure y'all go ahead and have the mission plan and execute the mission plan. So I am looking forward to seeing big things from the Lakers in the back end. Let's talk about the front end, right? LeBron James is back. LeBron James is back, right? The King is back. Played against the Utah Jazz early in the week and looked great. I mean, listen, for a guy that has sciatica is very painful, right? For him to be missing, for him to miss, what was it, 12 games, 13, however many games it was, training camp, he couldn't really do anything. Off season, couldn't really do anything. And this guy gets on the court, has 11 points, 10 assists, and just looks so happy to be there, right? That's the whole thing, is that body language is a big thing to me, right? Like, when teams are losing and you see players on the sidelines and they slouching and, they either doing this or they just like, well, I don't care. And you can tell that guys who are passionate about the team or just don't care, you know what I'm saying? You can see that, or guys who are indifferent or guys who are selfish, you can see it through body language, right? And early on in the season, LeBron got criticized for just kind of sitting there. Oh, well, why is LeBron just sitting there like that? He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look happy. He's just chilling. And then all of a sudden, once he's up and doing what he's doing, because people forget, motherfucker's dealing with sciatica. So you think he wants to be up and down, getting up off his chair, sitting down again, running down the sidelines? Like, he doesn't want to do that early on because he's in pain, right? But you see, as it went along, he got a lot more loose. He was active. He's active in the game plan. He's active in the scouting. He's active in the plays and all that other stuff. Now you see him on the court. He's like, man, I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy to be doing what I love to do. And people really take that for granted when it comes to LeBron, right? Everybody's like, oh, LeBron he just thinks he's like, no, dude. The dude loves to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it there. He loves to play basketball. He's been doing it for 23 seasons in the NBA. He's been playing basketball since he was 9 years old. Like, this is a guy that breathes basketball. He's a jock. This is what he does. And when he's on the court, he can be him. He can be with his teammates. He can laugh. He can smile. He can crack jokes. The joy on this team is, you can feel it, right? Like last year, early on in the season, the tight JJ Redick's a new coach. They're trying to figure things out. The Luka trade comes, still some tightness there because Luka's trying to fit in and guys are trying to just say, hey, Luka, just do what you do, right? But now you see that guys are loose. They like each other. They love being around each other. DeAndre Ayton said, I don't like this team. I love this team. I love this organization. I love this place. You know what I'm saying? Austin Reeves, he said it from day one. I love LA. I love the Lakers. Like, yes, I declined my contract, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to stay. I'm just trying to get the most money possible. And I might not even be wanting the most money possible. It's just a number that I want that's good for me, but also good for the team to be able to keep us flexible and competitive, right? So you hear these good things, these good vibes. Rui, great player, right? Great team guy. Marcus Smart has come here and really put that thing together. Gabe Vincent has played well. You got Jake LaRavia who's looked great. Everybody has pitched in and done a great job. And why wouldn't LeBron James be excited to be back with this team? Why not? Why not? They're good. You know what I'm saying? Second in the West. Why not? Of course. Are they the Thunder? Of course not. Of course not. We all know how good the Thunder is. They're so good it's not fair to watch. You got Shea leading the league in points. Man, he's a monster. But in regards to the Lakers, this is a great step because if LeBron can just do this, right? You can have Luka and Reeves and DeAndre and anybody else. He can just do his assisting. Average 20 and 10. Easy. Braun can average 20 and 10 easy on this team. He can get DeAndre 6 lobs a game. He's become a very decent knockdown shooter. Shot it at 40% last year. This is a guy that's going to help this team's basketball IQ go from here to here. And that's what a lot of people don't realize about LeBron. Every hater, he's going to make them worse. Look, he's going to ruin the chemistry. Y'all don't know ball. Anybody that says that a guy that has high basketball IQ is going to ruin the team's chemistry, you don't know basketball. And there's a lot of y'all out there that play it, that talk about it, that commentate on it. Y'all don't know ball. And that's all right. I'm going to show y'all today. The Lakers are going to be one of the top 5 teams in the West. You can just pencil it in. They're not going to be fighting for no play-in spot. They're well coached. They're well coached in regards to motivation. They have a great front office staff. They have a great training staff. LeBron James is a great leader, but he doesn't have to be the guy to be able to do everything anymore. You got Luka, who is blossoming into that role as the leader of this team. Austin Reeves has become one of the vocal leaders on this team. DeAndre Ayton finally looks like the guy from Arizona that had this all of the globs of potential coming out of college. Like he finally realizes, oh, okay. This is how you become a big man. This is how you're supposed to be as a big. Okay. I didn't really like Monty Williams, so he wasn't going to get that out of me. Damn sure didn't like Portland and didn't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? So when you see guys that are motivated and they're doing well, it's only going to bode well for chemistry going forward. Because for those of y'all that don't know ball, pause. For those of y'all that do not understand basketball, yes, you need talent. Yes, you need a whole bunch of things. But you also need chemistry. Chemistry in sports is a big deal. When you like the person that's next to you, you want to see them do well. When you guys are vibing off the court, you want to see each other do well. When your group chats are going off and everybody's having a good time, making fun of each other, cracking jokes, the vibes in practice are going to be great. The vibes on that sideline, when guys are sitting on the bench, watching the game, giving tips, you're going to accept that more when you have that tight camaraderie, that chemistry. All of that stuff is important for hoops, man. So yeah, you can give me all the talented dudes in the world. You can do that. Hell, look at the Clippers, right? Look at the Clippers. 1-9 in their last 10. But go ahead and look at their team. They talented, aren't they? They got talent. They got talent all over the place. But chemistry matters. Chemistry matters. And that's what the Lakers have. and they have it in abundance. You see every clip. If you're on Instagram, you see what they're posting and whether they're, they're doing their putt-putt games, they cracking on each other, doing this, like the post-game stuff. Everything that goes on, this looks like a team, and it feels very 2020-ish. Let me go take these glasses off. Listen to me again. It feels very 2020-ish. The last time I saw a team that was this happy to be around each other, they won an NBA championship. And I'm not saying that this team is a championship team right now. I am not saying that. I would be foolish to say that. I'm just telling you that this is a team that has the recipe to be a great team going forward down the line. And you never know what trades are going to come about. You never know what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, be afraid of this team because chemistry is all good. When it's great when it comes to sports. When your chemistry is on the highest level, you can achieve the highest of goals. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've seen it with too many teams in basketball. I've seen it in too many teams in football. I've seen too many teams in baseball. So that's what it is. We got a comment here. I can't really say it. Bubba Skills from Scotland, UK. Salutes, my man. Appreciate that. You are a Bulls fan, okay? Bulls are on the come up, man. They got some good young pieces over there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's really, really interesting. Hold on, let me see. I think my thing's about to die. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Computer's about to die and this live was gonna be over. So go ahead and go plug in. Make sure I tap in with y'all and keep this live going. So where were we? All right. So yeah, chemistry matters. So you gotta make sure that you get that done. Shouts to the Bulls. Got another question here. Who's your favorite player? My favorite player currently or all time? I'll give you both. Currently, right now, it's obviously it's LeBron James. Until LeBron James retires, it'll be LeBron. All time, it's between Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson. Sometimes, some days it's Magic, some days it's Kobe Bryant. But they're pretty much neck and neck for me. Kobe White, okay. Shouts to Kobe White. Kobe White's a great player. Kobe White, man, Kobe White came a long way. Kobe White was, coming out of Carolina, good player. Had high hopes early on. I don't think that he reached the potential that they wanted to early on. But listen, it takes a lot of guys some time to be able to figure out exactly how good they are, right? What their roles are, how they're going to be able to, contribute to a basketball team. So he had to find his way. He found his way now, and he's one of the best players in the NBA. So shouts to him. Shouts to him, and shouts to what the actual Bulls are building, man. They're building something good over there. So moving on. The Detroit Pistons. They are, I think, obviously everybody can say that they're the surprise team in the league right now. Like that's beyond having to even have a discussion about. They are the surprise team in the NBA. But are they really? Are they really? And when I say that, you gotta think about sports in blocks, right? Sports is about progression. Getting to the championship and becoming a dynasty is about progression. You never really see, like I kind of make the example of Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios or Marvel has been around for a while. They were making Marvel movies for years, right? You had the Fantastic Four back in the mid 90s. You had Blade. You had Captain America, even before Blade, Captain America, Fantastic Four. You had all these movies that they were making. They constantly made these movies, but they weren't good. And it takes a while for greatness to happen, right? There's a progression period. You have to go through these low end times. Then you figure it out. And then you understand what you're looking for. Then you understand what you're supposed to be doing. And then you start to see those building blocks starting to get put together, right? And every time you keep stacking these building blocks on top of each other, they get stronger. It gets stronger. It gets more refined. It looks better. Like, you go from the base of a building and you keep going up and somebody's like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that that's actually what was being built. It just looked like rubble. It looked like nothing when you started, but look at how beautiful this is, right? It's a building. It's progression. That's with everything. And the Detroit Pistons over the last 2 years, 2.5 years have been building, right? Even when they went through that 20-game losing streak, it was 2 years ago. Look at the games when they were actually playing those games. Look at how competitive they were in those games. They weren't getting blown out most of those games. They were in those games. They had the talent. They just weren't ready to ascend yet. You had to learn. You had to go through your bumps. You had to get beat up. That's okay. We seen it with OKC. They went through it. Building blocks. You don't want to be, DC. You don't want to just throw all the money at it right away and try to see if you can be able to catch up to something that's been building and now it's an established brand in a machine. You can't do it that way because you have not learned how to lose. Losing is a mindset, but you have to go through it. Because once you go through the losing and understand how winning feels, now you can be able to build a winning culture. But if you go straight to the finish line, how the hell did you know how to get there? So when you do start to take steps back, you have no idea how to do so. You have no idea what it's like to say, oh man, what do we do now? Now we've been here before. We can be able to figure it out. And again, 20-game losing streak. You had all this talent, this young talent. Everybody's frustrated over there. Everybody's starting to question, is Cade the guy? Of course he's the guy. It just takes time, patience. And on top of that, coach. Shouts to Monty Williams. Like, look, Monty Williams is a guy that I think in the grand scheme of things is a great coach, right? He's done some good things in the NBA. Been an assistant coach in San Antonio. He's had some success on his own, right? Got to the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns. Like, he's done some things. But that doesn't mean that he's going to connect with every single team that he coaches. And this was never his team to build. What you see JB Bickerstaff doing right now, that's a guy that's saying, look, I don't give a damn how talented you guys are. I don't give a damn what your draft stock says. I don't give a damn where you were drafted. I don't give a damn how much money y'all have. I don't care. But when y'all step into this court, when y'all step into practice, y'all are going to make sure that everybody's accountable for each other. You're going to be accountable for your mistakes. You're going to be accountable for the errors that you make in regards to film study. We're going to go ahead and assess that, and we're going to continue to get better. I don't need no excuses here. Again, I don't need what you make. I don't care what you make. You need to make sure that you are a professional and you make sure that you're riding for your dues that's on this team. And if you can be able to do that, I promise you, we will start to win games. You don't even remember that 20-game losing streak, do you? Nobody does. That team made the playoffs last year. What were they, a 6 seed? Haven't gotten out of the first round since 2008. We get it. But again, it goes right back to that word, progression. You don't want to just jump to the front of the line. You want to go through these lean years. You want to learn, get to the playoffs, get your ass bust, have some challenges, have some really good, close matchups where you can be able to say, man, we almost had them. If we only did this, if maybe I would have did this as a better leader, maybe we gotta figure out why some more tape. We gotta, probably make some lateral moves here and there, right? Or close. That's what the Pistons are. So in a down year for the Eastern Conference, you got the Knicks that looking shaky right now. Jalen Brunson's back. Salute to him. Milwaukee Bucks, we all know what's happening with them. It's literally a clock type of situation. Like, we all know what's gonna happen, man. We all understand. We all understand what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a matter of time before Giannis says, "Yeah, I'm up out of here, man. I'm up out of here." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be here too long. I'm up out of here. Progression. They got the best record in the Eastern Conference right now. Can they continue to do this? Absolutely. They can ride the wave this entire regular season. Are they ready to contend for an NBA title? Maybe not. But it doesn't matter. Because what we're seeing is that they are riding for each other. They know that they're good. They know how much they've worked to get to this point, to this stage of the build. They're not at the top of the skyscraper yet. They're not putting on the finishing pieces of the skyscraper yet. Somewhere in the middle. And when you're somewhere in the middle, you can be able to see the bottom, but you can also see the top. The Pistons are coming. And they're going to be one of those teams within the next few years, just like I said some years back. I said Oklahoma City is going to be the team that's going to dominate this league for the next 5 or 6 years. I wouldn't be shocked if the Pistons and the Thunder are doing this in the finals and we create this new young rivalry for years to come. I can see it. But it's about progression. It's about doing things the right way, building the right way, and having the right builder, having the right guy that's putting the blueprint together to build the building, to build the foundation. When Marvel started out, they didn't have the right blueprint. They didn't have the right guy that had the right specs. They had to replenish things. They had to get the right guy to lead the band. They'll be able to get those specs together. And once you got those specs right, then you were able to start building the right way. And instead of you having to redo something, go back down to come back up, no, just keep going. And that's why I see what the Pistons are doing. That's why I see OKC doing. That's why I see, even shouts to the Toronto Raptors right now. I think they've won like 9 straight games. You got these teams that are putting these pieces together. And it's nice to watch because basketball is not about me just being able to have all of this free agent money and just throw it here. No. It's about developing your talent. It's about building that trust within the community that the fans are saying, man, just give us some years, man. Give us some years that we can be able to learn and develop together. Keep this core together, and we might be able to do something special. You're starting to see that a lot more around the NBA. And hell, maybe that's what this new CBA did for us, right? It made us start realizing and appreciating that building is just as important as winning it all. Seeing the progression, going from the bottom all the way to the penthouse. Yeah, you can, celebrate in the penthouse, but you can also celebrate all of the steps that you took to get to the penthouse. It's what a lot of people and a lot of fans don't really appreciate. They're always, man, I need a championship. I need a championship. We haven't had a championship in 30 years. How about looking a little different about your team? Look at how they're building it. If they're building and it's starting to trend in the right direction, that's what you can celebrate, because that's a team that's willing to put in the work and do exactly what they need to get to the next level. And that's exactly what the Pistons are doing. So shouts to the Pistons, man. I like seeing it. As a Laker fan, I hate y'all. As a Laker fan, I hate y'all. As a Laker fan, I can't stand Detroit. Okay? Y'all did some damage to us way back when. Don't like it. Okay? And y'all did some damage to us in the early 2000s. I don't like y'all. But I respect what y'all building, because that's sports. That's basketball. That's beauty to watch. So, shouts to y'all. Moving on. What else we got here? What is going on with Patrick Beverley? What is happening with him? I seen this report, and I don't really understand it. And I don't know if the man has anger problems or not. I don't know what's going on with Pat Bev. But it's pretty disheartening, right? Let's go ahead and go pull this up again. So it says Patrick Beverley is accused, this is all alleged, of punching his sister in the eye and choking her for up to 30 seconds at a home in Texas. They go into detail about the encounter. I'm not going to go ahead and read through everything, but there's some grabbing here. There's picking her up off the ground. Him using his hands around her neck. All of these things are just like really concerning to hear, that you can get that mad at a family member, somebody of the opposite sex, that you're willing to be able to put hands on them like that. That, to me, I'll never understand that, right? Like, as a man, I'll never understand that. I've been upset with people. I've been frustrated with people. But in regards for me saying that, yeah, I'm going to put hands on you, like, come on, bro. And I don't know if this is true. Even if it's not, there's a jacket on you now, bro. You're going to have to wear this. This is not going to end up well for you if this is true. Because you know how people look at DV in this country, right? And, I've always been a Pat Bev fan, but I'm not a fan of this at all. I'm not going to speak more about it. Need to see more details come out. Need to see what ends up happening. But, hopefully everybody's safe. Hopefully, this young lady is safe and she's not too traumatized by this matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to hear. And it's really unfortunate that you can see these guys that are on TV or got a podcast, they're playing pros, and they look away, they present themselves in a way, and then you hear stories like this. It's just like, come on, dude. Like what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are we actually doing? Like, there's never a reason to put your hands on a woman. There's just no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? So just want to put that out there because that's corny. That's like wow, corny. Like, Pat Bev is one of them cheerleading motherfuckers too. He was always like the dude that just talks too much on the court. And, respect to him, long career, defensive player and all that other stuff. But come on, like, dude, like this is below any thing that you've ever done, allegedly. So if it is true, you more than cooked. Fricassee. You will stovetop, like over. Moving on. What else do we got here? Okay. I mean, we do have relevant news of the week. Do we want to do that? Or we'll just go into, you know what? Let's go ahead and just go into NFL. So again, I didn't really watch much of Thursday night football game. I did see the outcome. I did look at the box score. Did look at postseason, post game stuff. Yeah, I mean, the Bills are just this enigma that you can't really figure out, right? There's some days where their offensive line looks good. There's other days where they can't block anybody, and Josh Allen is on his back 8 times, right? Are they a championship team? I don't even know if they are. They're not even the best team in their division. Shouts to the Patriots. So I don't know if they don't win this year, if the Bills don't win the Super Bowl this year, or if they don't get to the Super Bowl this year, do you keep Doug McDermott or Sean McDermott, excuse me? Do you keep him? Do you keep him? Because I've been calling for him to possibly find some new employment, because sometimes you might need a change. And you got a dude over there in Joe Brady. Joe Brady might be the guy to say, you know what, I can get this team over the hump. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know what the solution is. But I tend to think that Sean McDermott may not necessarily be the guy to get this team to the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. I haven't seen it. They haven't been there. But it's one of those things where it's like, dude, y'all play so inconsistently that you can't be trusted to be able to do anything come postseason time. You just can't. You know what I mean? That's my whole point. Can't be trusted. You can't be trusted to figure it out. So for the Texans, big win for the Texans. They've been I fist my head. They have to keep doing what they're doing. Play great defense. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league, right? Joe Mixon's out for the season. So they're going to have to be able to figure out how they're going to be able to keep running the ball, keep doing things, keep getting decent quarterback play. Yeah. But the AFC is wide open. It really is. You got the Steelers, you got the Ravens, you got the Bills, you got the Patriots, you got the who else you got? You got the Chargers, you got the Colts. It's wide open. You have a lot of teams. Jaguars, I didn't even talk about the Jaguars. You have a lot of teams that are somewhere in the mix. So we'll see. But the Bills, they just don't look like a team that screams contender, like serious Super Bowl contender to me. But then again, No team in the AFC really does. Everybody talking about the Patriots. Patriots are great. They look great. They have a great young quarterback. Drake May's good. But are they going to go from what they are to go to the Super Bowl? I am not one of those people to say that. I'm not going to be the dude that's like, oh, the Patriots. Yeah, man, nah. I got to see it first. I got to see how they continue to progress. I got to see what December looks like, how they handle that. Getting to the playoffs, getting through the first round, all this stuff. I need to see if they can be able to do that. But again, I'm not looking for that because why? Progression. They got to one point. Now they're at this point. Now everybody's like, oh, they should be a Super Bowl. No, there's a progression here. Y'all got to relax. People they don't want to appreciate the steps. They just want to get from start line to finish line. It's just, come on now. There's more to sports about that. There's more to the Patriots than just putting all of this Super Bowl pressure on them. I don't think that they're there yet. I really don't. Moving on. Joe Burrow is officially listed as questionable. Now, the question is, do the Bengals decide to go ahead and let him play? Here's my opinion. Here's my soliloquy. Here's my synopsis. No. Maybe the Bengals want him to play. And I'm sure they do. But if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm not playing. If I'm Joe Burrow, I never step foot on the Bengals field again. This is done. If I'm Joe Burrow, that's how I'm looking at it. This is done. I have been criticized. And rightfully so. Listen, he hasn't been healthy in his career. He's missed over 30 games in his NFL career. He's missed a lot of games. When he's on the field, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But you got to be available. That's basically what the game is. You have to be available. And if you're not available, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. Because you see what's going on with the Bengals. Had Joe Burrow been there, are the Bengals in this spot? Probably not. So, but if I'm him, I don't come back. What am I coming back to? Joe Burrow belongs somewhere else. He belongs on the big stage. He belongs in New York. That's where he should go. Right to the Jets. I'm a Jets fan. Of course, I'm going to be a homer and talk about it. But it makes sense. The Jets have all of these draft picks. They can be able to move up in the draft to go get the number one pick if they want to because they have the assets to do so. And what would be better than getting the number one pick and then calling Cincinnati and saying, we have the number one pick. We can throw in something else and you give us Joe Burrow. That way you can be able to start clean if you're Cincinnati, and you can be able to start your new regime with your all-star, superstar quarterback in New York in Joe Burrow. But for me, if I'm Joe Burrow, why? Why would I want to return to this franchise? Why? I'm being serious. Why? Doesn't make sense. So that's my opinion on that. Do I have an opinion on Jamar Chase and his spitting? No, I don't. People have covered it ad nauseum already. I think it's a punk move. I think Jamar Chase is an immature diva receiver, and they come a dime a dozen in regards to being diva receivers, right? The talent level, no. But diva receiver, yes. And he's a dude that he lied. Oh, I ain't spit on nobody. Okay, cool. Like everybody and their mama don't have fucking phones out here. The NFL don't have like 80 billion cameras in every angle possible to see that you actually spit on, son. But who's going to admit to that? Who's going to admit that they spit on somebody? Spitting is probably the worst thing that you can do to anybody. You spit on anybody, they beating you the hell up. They putting hands and feet on you. And rightfully so. If you go ahead and you decide to make that move to say, I am going to spit on this person, whatever happens to you after that is your own fault. Because that's the nastiest thing that you can do to somebody. And the most disrespectful, one of the most disrespectful things. I'm not going to say it's the most. One of the most disrespectful things you can do. So do I have an opinion about Ja'Marr Chase? No. I think he's a punk. And if this was in a different situation, this wasn't on the field, this was in the street, then he'd have got dealt with. And I'm not talking about, being off this earth. I'm just talking about hands and feet would have been put on him. And he would have thought about it after, like, yeah, that was a bad move. Your man's not going to be able to get you out of that one. Because even your man's going to look like, I'm going to defend you. But that's corny that you're going to go ahead and spit on somebody. You spit on that person. I can't respect nobody that does that. I respect nobody that spits on anybody at all. So whether my respect means anything to Ja'Marr Chase, of course not. But it's one of those things where it's just like these players keep thinking that they are above the fray. But there is another side of this. I almost forgot. There is another side of this. You're starting to realize that this is the second spitting incident. I'm sure there's probably more, right? Who's to say that these players are not going into these games with some type of preconceived notion that this is what they're going to do to be able to try to get guys fined or get guys kicked out of games, sway the momentum of a game? There is something behind that, right? Intent. Spitting is all about intent. You do not accidentally spit on somebody. The only time that you can accidentally, put spit on somebody is if y'all in close proximity and spit flies out of your mouth because your mouth, you're talking so much and it's building up and some of the residue comes out. But in regards to like literally hocking back and spitting on somebody, there's always intent. So what's the intention? You want to spit on somebody to fight? Or you want to spit on somebody to cause them to have a reaction so now they're out the game? Because makes sense, right? I'm going to mess with you so you can be able to do something to me. And now you're out of this game. How's the NFL police this? How are they going to go about telling their players to stop being nasty MFers? It's being an adult, dude. Don't spit on nobody. They used to teach you that in kindergarten. Don't spit on Jimmy. You share. You shake hands. You don't spit on people. That's lame shit. But again, people idolize these athletes and not realizing that a lot of these dudes are lames. They can just play football. They can just play basketball. They got money, but you are lame. That's all it is. So there could be intent to it. There could be people that are like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just because I want to get this dude out of the game, or all of it's corny. It's all corny. So moving on. Jets watch. The Jets have made a move. Tyrod Taylor is the new starting quarterback for the Jets. And weeks back, even before the season, I said, excuse me, I said that Tyrod Taylor is the best option for the Jets. Oh, no, he's been around the league too much. I said, doesn't matter. Tyrod Taylor is the best option for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor has always been the best option for the Jets. He's the mature person in the room. So when you have a young team full of young players and nobody really understands how to win, Tyrod Taylor does. He's been at the helm of winning teams. He's been the backup on winning teams. He's been in this league a long time. He knows how to communicate. So why wouldn't you want to play Tyrod Taylor? That was my whole thing. Don't play Justin Fields. He's trash. He's not good. There's no part of Justin Fields that's good. No part. So because of that, you start the adult in the room. You don't start the kid that can't play. But Aaron Glenn went ahead and did his thing. And we saw exactly what had transpired, right? You be in the second quarter, didn't watch the game. You go ahead and look at the box score, right? Go look at the score and the stats. He's 5 for 7 for 12 yards late in the second quarter. That's Justin Fields. He doesn't see the field well. He's not a quarterback right now. He's not an NFL quarterback. He may be a quarterback in the XFL. Maybe a quarterback in the CFL, Arena League. He is not an NFL quarterback. He's just not. Face the facts. But here's the catch-22. I was saying all of that stuff because I wanted the Jets to have some semblance of success, right? Maybe be competitive, but lose. Well, I've changed my mind. I know that Tyrod Taylor is the best option. I understand that he's the adult in the room. I understand that he has winning in his background, experience as a starter, as a backup. I know he knows how to communicate. All of those things are true that I just labeled and just stated. But I want the Jets to get the number 1 pick. So keep playing the bum-ass quarterback. Put Justin Fields back in here. Get Josh Fields back in here. Because I don't want the Jets to start getting confident where they start racking off 2 straight wins like they did a couple of weeks ago. I don't want that. They need to be worse. The number uno. That's what I want. Overall, number 1 pick. I don't want 2. I don't want 3. I don't want 4. I don't want 5. I want 1. I want the best player in the draft. I want whoever the best quarterback is, that's who I want. So I don't want no confusion here. So keep playing Justin Fields. Keep being bad. Be as bad as possible. We don't care about trying to progress right now. No. There's time for that. You can do that in year 2. We don't need that right now. We need you to bottom out and bottom out as much as possible. I don't want Tyrod Taylor winning no damn games because if they go ahead and be competitive with the Patriots on Sunday, I'm not going to like that. That's what I'm saying. Are they playing the Patriots or are they playing something else? Hold on. Let's see if I don't want to get it wrong. They're playing somebody else. Jets schedule. They are playing. No, they played the Pats, excuse me. Yeah, they're playing the Ravens, excuse me. So they'll play the Ravens. They need to lose to the Ravens, okay? And lose bad. Don't even be competitive. Just get blown out. We don't want to. At this stage of the game, how many games have we played already? Huh? What is their record? What are we, 2-9? Keep going. 2-8. We keep going. We don't want to be good. Stop putting in good players. I don't want to see Tyrod Taylor. I don't want to see him. I don't care. I'd be upset if they find a way to beat the Ravens. I don't want that. I've grown fond of watching Justin Fields be bad. I've grown fond of it because it's like, yes, it's like Palpatine looking at Anakin, right? Yes. Continue to drive the hate and have the dark side catch you. Yes, continue to be bad. Continue to suck, Justin Fields. I seen a stat the other week. It was crazy that the Jets have the lowest yards per game passing the football since 2022. You know who was the team that had the lowest passing in 2022? It was the Chicago Bears. You know who was the quarterback in Chicago in 2022? Justin. It was Justin. Yo, pack him the fuck up. Pack him all the way up. Whoever signed his ass, was it Muji? Man, if you don't draft well, you will never live that shit down to me. There was so many other quarterbacks that you could have got. You threw money at Justin Fields. So that's all I got. Moving on. Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders officially gets his big start. We're not going to count what happened last week because obviously he never played with the first team, never got any reps. They don't know his cadences. You know, even all of that, right? Even through all of that, he was 4 for 17. We understand that, but there was glimpses and flickers of, did you see that throw? Did you see that throw? That's a guy that makes every single throw. And I love what he said in one of the weekly pressers. He said that he knows he's the guy. He's always felt that he's the guy. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. You have to prove it. You have to earn it. And hopefully he can be able to do so. He's going against the Las Vegas Raiders, one of the worst football teams in the league. Geno Smith is garbage this season. Had a nice 3-year run in Seattle. It's over now. Pete Carroll is over his sticks, man. He's old. Pack up the Monarchs, box them shits up, and retire. Geno Smith is a little over 2,000 yards passing, 80 passer rating, which is dreadful. 12 touchdowns to 13 picks. It's just not playing well. Now Shedeur is in town. Now you got that bad man in Myles Garrett there, right? Who may rack up another 5 sacks because he's so scary. The biggest thing for me is Shedeur gets to go against a team that passed on him 8 times. You got to keep a list at this point, Shedeur. Keep a list of all the teams that passed on you multiple times. Not just once. The teams that passed on you multiple times. Those are the ones you need to circle. Those are the ones that you need to have a little bit extra vigor for. Because at the end of the day, this is your moment. This is your moment to prove the naysayers wrong. All of those people in Cleveland, you got the radio hosts that don't believe in you. You got the people that want to go ahead and just side with everybody. Oh, well, do you think that Kevin Stefanski would just bench him for no reason? He's a former coach of the year. Who cares? What does that mean? The fact that he's a former coach of the year wouldn't make me even believe that even more. That because you think you know what you're doing, you're not going to go ahead and play this kid. Dylan Gabriel can't even throw 5-out screen passes when healthy. But you want to tell me that somebody like Kevin Stefanski looks and says that he gives us the best opportunity to win games? And you want me to believe or trust in that? Anybody got time for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you think we are? We're not that stupid. We're not that stupid. So the fact that he's now starting, seize your moment, Shedeur. You have so many people, including myself, rooting for you. I want you to seize the moment. Play well and never give back that fucking job. Make them realize how many teams passed on you. Make them realize the mistake that they made. Because that's life. You can be somebody's trash and somebody's treasure. But with the person that makes you their treasure, you make sure that you never, ever let them down. Because when you go ahead and you succeed, all those other people that looked at you as trash, they will go ahead and have amnesia. I knew he had it the whole time. I just, maybe it was just, certain situations. Oh, well, I heard reports, maybe those reports were wrong, of course. It's always like that. You're always going to get guys that say, well, I knew Tom Brady was going to be good. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Yeah, I knew Dak Prescott would. No, you didn't. So I knew Lamar Jackson would. No, you didn't. And that's okay. Stand on it. Don't walk it back. But Shedeur, your job now is to make them walk it back. Make every single one of those people that talk badly about you, that said that your character was this, your character was that, make them walk it back. And then when they walk it back, you look at them with humility and ain't nothing. It's cool. That's what pros do. That's what guys who are the guy do. Show them this Sunday. Show them why you are that guy. And I'll be watching. Now it's time for Irrelevant News.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the? I mean, yeah, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and see the stories, the interesting stories that are in the news. A male guinea pig named Randy broke into a female-only enclosure and impregnated all 100 of them. Yeah. I mean, look, if you were Randy, what would you do? You broke out of wherever the hell you was at. They probably you haven't seen a chicken mad long. They got you in there just running on a wheel, eating this dry ass food, stupid ass water that's just sitting there like settle water. It's not even like the drip water, settle water. You break out your enclosure and like, yo, I have never been around so much yams in my life. He was like, yo, I stepped into guinea pig hedonism. Yo, my man was like, yo, this is crazy. Yeah. Porno shoot with all of them. We love it. You know what I'm saying? We understand that. That's like dude that, he had no conjugal visits, nothing like that. Come home. He's like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Get a situation and you gonna go crazy. You're gonna go crazy. So I don't blame the guinea pig. I blame the people that kept that guinea pig away from the yams the whole time. You got to make sure you give him some conjugal visits. It's crazy. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. It says, quitting your job adds more years to your life than quitting smoking. It says studies show that walking away from a high-stress job can seriously improve your health, sometimes even more than quitting smoking. Ditching a toxic work environment can lower the risk of heart issues, help your body recover, improve sleep, and boost your immune system. The relief alone can add years to your life. Quitting smoking is still huge, of course, but cutting out nonstop work stress might be one of the strongest moves you can make for a long-term health and healthy life. Yeah, what gave it away? Like, yo, you ever been at that job where as soon as you wake up, you're like, yeah, I'm tapped out for the day. I want no parts of today. I want to just go back to sleep. You wake up mad, kissing your teeth, put on your clothes. You wake up out of bed, brush your teeth, eat your breakfast. You look at the damn clock, look at your watch, like, oh my God, I gotta be at work at what? And you go ahead and you slow walk that motherfucker in there. And you know you got that one of those employees that work there, your coworkers, that is in everybody's business. They want to be the shadow boss, right? And tell you what to do. And you want to punch them in the mouth every time. Just say something else to me today. I'm gonna make your head a part of the sheetrock. Everybody's been in a job like that. So yes, it's very important to have mental clarity and also relieve that stress. And if that job is causing you that stress, you need to make sure that you find something else. Sometimes chasing the bag ain't it, man. Sometimes it's better to be able to have a job that's might not be as high paying, but at least you have the fucking, you know, the peace of mind to be able to go home and be happy and not wake up in a pissy mood having to go to this hell job every day. You know, I see when Silent Assassin comes down here, she dragging ass. Like, they don't come down here and look like you don't want to show up to work. No, you come through those doors and you're happy to see everybody. That's the environment that the All Even podcast does. All Even Studios provides. So you don't want to go ahead and have a shitty work environment. It's not cool. It's not healthy. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in a bad relationship. You get rid of her ass or his ass, and you don't want to be in a bad relationship in your job too. You get rid of that job. Get rid of it. I mean, stop chasing. Sometimes chasing a bag and having all the money and you sick. Where's it gonna get you? Outside of the hospital and hospital bills. Early retirement. Come on now. Moving on. Experts claim more women may be psychopaths than previously thought. This is interesting. Dr. Clive Body highlights that women are often underrepresented in psychopathic research. Or psychopathy, excuse me. That's possibly due to social biases. While past estimates suggested that men outnumber female psychopaths 10-1, his work using the LSRP shows traits are more evenly spread. About 1% of men meet the full criteria, but 23% show concerning traits, while 12 to 13% of female white-collar workers display similar tendencies. Interesting. So you're trying to tell me that there's female Ed Geins out there? Yo, I wouldn't put it past it, bro, honestly, because you got some of these chicks out here. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, they are fucking nuts. You know what I mean? Like, you meet them, you cool, and then, you know, you hang out with them on a Monday, night, and they mad by Tuesday afternoon because they haven't heard from you. It's like, I just saw you Monday night. I'm busy. I'm out there doing stuff. And then they end up randomly just showing up to your crib. Or showing up to your friend's house because they heard about they heard you talking about your friend one day. And then it's like, oh yeah, I went on your phone and found your friend's number. And be aware of the crazies because they're out there. Trust me. Don't ignore the warning signs. We all get them. And sometimes we ignore them because of the yams. Don't do that. Don't do that. Moving on. Stuart Scott got a 30 for 30. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be great, man. Stuart Scott was him. Like, you talk about the pioneer of this thing. You talk about the charisma, the swag, just the improvisation. Like, everything about him was just special. And taken away way too soon. The aggressive cancer that he had, man. It's just, but that 30 for 30 is going to be good. And I think, a lot of people are going to reminisce and it's really going to be emotional for a lot of people watching that, just because there's so many people that idolize Stuart Scott. I myself idolized Stuart Scott growing up. And it's going to be good to see how they put everything together, kind of detail his life and his career and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that, man. It's going to be great. New Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle live action film is in the works. Absolutely. I can't wait for this. So we're probably, it said cancel projects aside, Mutant Mayhem 2 is still set for 2027. So yeah, we might be getting a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie very soon, which is good. I like that. They're saying that John Bernthal will not return as the Punisher for Born Again Season 2. But they're saying that because he's doing his own standalone thing. He's in the Spider-Man movie, so he got a lot of stuff going on, man. It's just, that's my man, so I can't see nobody else playing Punisher. Like, even if come on, figure it out. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. Studies find faking smiles at work can lead to binge. What kind of study is this? This is crazy. A new University of Pennsylvania study found that people who fake smiles or hide frustration at work, known as surface acting, are about 30% more likely to binge drink afterwards. Forcing positivity drains your emotional energy, and you're so more tempted to unwind with alcohol or food. Over time, that stress can lead to burnout and unhealthy habits. Yes, I told the story last week. My mother used to tell me all the time, if you see somebody that smiles all the time, that's a wicked person and you don't need to be around. I don't trust nobody that smiles all the fucking time. There's something going on behind those eyes, and I don't trust it. I do not trust it, and I do not want to be anywhere around you or near you. Nah, nobody smiles all the time, because we all go through situations where we want to punch somebody in the face, we want to curse somebody out, we want to do this, and you're just doing this all the goddamn time. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy, and you're probably a psychopath, and you're probably a sociopath, and you probably have mad bodies lined up somewhere that you haven't disposed of yet. I do not trust anybody that smiles too much and got that fake smile. I look right through you. I don't like it. I don't like it at work. I don't like it in the street. I don't like it when I pick up my kids from school. I don't like none of that stuff, right? If you don't want to smile, then don't smile. If you had a rough day, you had a rough day. At least I know that you're human, right? At least I know that you're human, that you had a human day. I don't feel like smiling today. I'm not wasting no smiles on you. That's my line. I don't waste smiles on people. You know what I'm saying? People are, well, sometimes you can come off as standoffish, then so be it. If you think that I'm standoffish and you think, well, maybe he doesn't want to talk to me, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right that I don't want to talk to you. Yeah. Listen, sometimes you don't want to be around people. Sometimes you don't want to smile. And why should you have to fake smile? Like, people can't look right through your fake smile. But you know what? Some people are fake themselves, and they would rather the fake smile because all they know is fake. All they know is fake. So they can recognize, oh, it's fake smile. I'll take that, though. Nah, I'm not doing that. Just remember, anybody that smiles all the time is a wicked person. Rest in peace, Bob. That's always a line that I love. It's a great one. Moving on. Let's see. This one here. This is an interesting one. I live in New York, right? So, we have bodegas all over the place. Bronx, Manhattan, Harlem, Queens, Brooklyn, even Long Island. And you know that you're in a great bodega when there's a cat sleeping on the bread. You know what I mean? Like, if you go into a bodega and there's no cat there, then you know that there's some rats around, because the cat's going to keep everything in play. They're going to keep all the rats and the mouses in check in that bodega, right? So you're not going to see nothing crazy in there. But if you don't see no cat on the bread, you're going to have to question what's going on here. Like, what type of business y'all running? I can't trust none of the products that y'all got here. Where's the cat sleeping on the bread? I need to see 1 or 2 cats that's sleeping on the Wonder Bread on one side, and you got the other cat sleeping on the wheat bread on the other side. It's needed. For you guys that don't have bodegas in your neighborhoods, this don't apply to y'all. But for people who do have the bodegas, make sure that you tell the bodega owner, if they don't have a cat, yo, my man, this would be a lot more trustworthy establishment if you go get yourself a feline to sleep on the bread. For real. That's it. You need a cat to sleep on the bread for people to feel safe in your store. That's all I'm saying. So that is my irrelevant news of the week.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the? I mean, yeah, they stink.
Moving on to the Mets before we close up shop. Mets news. So there's a lot of news that is going on with the Mets right now. It appears that Kodai Senga is going to be traded sooner or later. I'm hoping that it's sooner rather than later, because I want to make sure that we have the appropriate time to be able to fill out this roster, this starting rotation, the bullpen, all of that stuff. So if you're gonna get rid of him, get rid of him. Because the thing is, I just don't feel that he's mentally equipped to handle New York, right? And doesn't mean he's not talented, because he's talented as fuck. He really is. But some guys are just not built that way. Like, when you go ahead and you get hurt, a lot of guys don't know how to recover from that, right? Like, they tend to like have this block, this mental block, that they can't get around the hurdle. Man, I got hurt. I never thought that I'd get hurt this bad. Okay, well, now you have to work yourself back into shape, into mental shape, into physical shape to get back on the field. He couldn't do it. And maybe he can do it, but maybe he can't do it here in New York. If he's in Cincinnati or Milwaukee or some low-end market team, then maybe he can figure it out, because there's no pressure on him to do so. This is New York, man. You can't have 2 straight years of not being active or not being consistently on the field, and you think people are going to be able to say, yeah, we want that. We're gonna trust that to be back into our rotation next year. It ain't gonna happen, bro. It's not happening. So I'm looking to see if they can be able to get rid of him. That'd be fine. Excuse me. there is some news. They had some tenders and some non-tenders. So they tendered Francisco Alvarez. They tendered Huascar Brazovan. They tendered Reed Garrett. Tendered Tyler McGill. Tendered David Peterson. Tendered Luis Torrens. Non-tendered Jose Castillo. Non-tendered Max Krennic. Max Krennic, my guy, man. Just couldn't stay healthy. And non-tenured Danny Young. And they re-signed Tyrone Taylor. 1 year, $3.8 million. So they avoided arbitration and got that deal done. Am I excited about getting back Tyrone Taylor? He's a great defender, but I don't want him to be an everyday center field. I want somebody who can hit. I know that this guy can field, but he can't hit. So I'm not ready to lose my mind yet, but I'm getting real close. Because, I'm hearing there's this other rumbling that's going on over there that the Mets have interest in signing Devin Williams. This reminds me, not as extreme, but it's a Frankie Montas situation. Devin Williams did not pan out for the Yankees. The Yankees probably don't want his ass back because he was not as advertised. Why then would we pick up a guy that played in New York and take him here when he didn't have success over there? That's my whole point. Like, why would you do that? I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, well, he struggled over there. We can fix him. I'm not into that. I'm into a guy that had a great year, no matter where he's at, and then you can be able to go ahead and you can add to that. Not some reclamation project. I'm done with those. Get somebody who's a sure thing. And if you're going to go ahead and tell me that you're looking at Devin Williams and you're not putting all of your resources into getting Edwin Diaz back here, now y'all got me hot. Y'all got me tight now. Because the rumor is that the Mets are mulling the opportunity to sign Diaz and Williams and head up their bullpen. So that's their problem. Their wish list, their dream. And there's a quote that says, Jeff Passan said this: the Mets want him back, but they might not want him as much as other teams or players. So you want him, but you don't think that he's a priority. Okay, cool. So then when he goes to the fucking Dodgers, you're going to go ahead and see what the problem is. When he goes to the Padres, you'll go see what the problem is. When he goes to the Red Sox, you'll go see what the problem is. When he goes to the Phillies, you'll go see what the problem is. What are we doing? Like, this is why at some point, Steve Cohen needs to go into David Stearns' office and pack his bags and tell him, go back to Milwaukee. Take your ass back there because you can't handle it here. I don't want some cheap bargain bazaar GM president that can't figure it out how to put together a contender here on the field, not in the minors, not in the prospects and the international draft and all this other shit. Who is on the field to compete for the 26? Who are the 26 players that you have signed that's going to get us a chance to win a World Series? I got nothing. I really don't. There's rumors that Brandon Nimmo might get traded. Don't trade Nimmo. Trade McNeil. Get his ass the F out of here. Okay? Get him gone. Trade Sean Manaea. Get him out of here. Sign back Edwin Diaz. Sign back Pete. Go get a Cody Bellinger. If you want to go ahead and make a trade, I seen a trade. My good friend Brian, shouts to Brian. he went ahead and sent me an article saying about Corey Seager. I can see that. Right? If it's right, if it makes sense, I can see that. But it's about how much money they're going to pay, how much the Rangers are going to go ahead and eat, like who do they want? All of these things make sense. And the thing is with Corey Seager is that he's a guy that he's had some injury concerns over the last few years. His first year in Texas, I think he played like 140 games, 150 games. But every year after that, he hasn't got back to 130 games. So it's one of those things where I'm concerned because I want to make sure that this is a guy that we can be able to trust going forward long term. He's making $32.5 million. So because he's making $32.5 million, I want to make sure that this is a guy that we can be able to rely on. And he's not that versatile either. So where are you going to put him? You're going to move Lindor to second? But nah, bro. Like, he's going to play third? If he can play third, then okay. So, we'll see. We'll see. Moving on. Who else do they have in regards to the Mets? Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Akamoto, the infielder, good first baseman, good defender. It's a guy that is really, really talented, and I hope that we can be able to get him. The pitcher as well, what's his name? Imai. See if we can be able to get him too. So I'm looking forward to what the Mets do, man. Whether they're gonna strike it in the trade market first, because I would love Byron Buxton to be here. I would love Luis Robert to be here. I would love if they can figure out a way to get a corner outfielder, and now we can be able to get creative with our DH, right? There's a lot of things that they can be able to do, but there's names. If you get a Byron Buxton, oh man, you talking about Ricky Henderson in center field? That's what it feels like to me. That's a Ricky Henderson type of deal that this freak athlete is playing on the Mets. I know Ricky Henderson was like 80 years old when he got here, but he was still great. You know what I mean? So that's my hope for the Mets. I'm hoping that they can be able to really start putting together some really positive signs of who they're signing, what the markets look like, what the dollars are looking like, what the interest level is. Close in on Edwin Diaz, lock that up. Close in on Pete Alonso, lock that up. And then we can be able to go ahead and build this team out right and do it the right way. So, hopefully we can be able to do that. Do I have a dummy? Do I have a dummy of the week? I'm not sure if I do. But let's go ahead and see if we can find it. Let's go ahead and see if we can find it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, here we go. This is a good one. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week, the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings get my dummy. Yeah. Now, we all know that Sam Darnold is not a perfect player, but we do know that he's a very good player. Yes, he did have a very bad game last week. He threw 4 interceptions. We all understand what happened and he lost the game, but he's still a very good quarterback. And you know what the Minnesota Vikings decided to say? No, we don't want you, man. You gave us a almost MVP type year, and we're gonna tell you bye because we got the kid in the back that tore his ACL up, but we think the world of him. JJ McCarthy, you know what I'm saying? He the man. He tough. You know who J.J. McCarthy reminds me of? And man, I was on this kid's bandwagon. I was like, you know what? I think he's gonna have a good year, man. I think he got a lot to prove and all this stuff. Boy, was I wrong. So not only can the Vikings get the W, but I can share some of that too. You know what he looks like to me? He looks like Zach Wilson. That's what he looks like to me. I didn't even realize when you put together a side-by-side picture, they're very close in how they look. Same garbage that you see with Zach Wilson is the same garbage you see with J.J. McCarthy. Man, have the Vikings kicked themselves in the foot. They better go ahead and go call the Atlanta Falcons and go get. They better go get Kirk Cousins back. They better go call the Pittsburgh Steelers and go call Aaron Rodgers and say, yo, could you play one more year and play just do the full circle, just like how Brett Favre did. You got to play for the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy ain't it, dude. And I'm not gonna write this kid off because he could turn it on in the second half of the season. He could be better next year because, again, this is his first year back from tearing the ACL. He might need some time to recover. You know what I'm saying? Like, range of motion might not be there, whatever it is. So he could get another chance to be able to make this right. But for right now, and we're just talking about right now, garbage. Absolute garbage. Come on, man. Like Minnesota, y'all have a primary, one of the top 3 receivers in all of football. You got Jordan Addison's pretty good. And you got this. The man can't do nothing. He's incompetent. Like I said, I'm not going to write the kid off. But right now, everybody in Minnesota who's in the front office, y'all might have to get walked out the door. It might not be y'all situation to fix. It might be somebody else's situation to fix. Because y'all have mucked it up so bad that the owner shouldn't even give you an opportunity to fix it. You let Sam Darnold go out the door and look now. Look now. Absolute garbage. So the Minnesota Vikings, I'm going to go ahead and share some of this as well. Y'all definitely are the front runners for Dummy of the Week this week. That's all for the show. Shouts to my team. Shouts to Silent Assassin. Shouts to Claw. Shouts to Jimmy. Next week is Thanksgiving week. My God, it goes by so quickly. I don't know. I want to see what the Black Friday sale look like. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do it. We might do it after Thanksgiving. We'll figure it out. But do I have a PSA? Yeah, I probably do. Saw the news about Marjorie Taylor Greene stepping down. She's not gonna run for re-election. She's stepping down in Congress. Her last day is gonna be January 5th of 2026. Saying that she can't take the negative political pressure that's going on and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden you want to be Miss Kumbaya. You want to be Miss Kumbaya. We understand what you're doing. We understand that you're going to go ahead and go take some time off and then go run for Senate. That's what you're doing. Yeah, I am somebody who will take the help from certain outlets at times, right? It's just like those movies where you get the bad guy to be able to help you get over the final boss, but that bad guy is still a bad guy. That's how Marjorie Taylor Greene will always be. It'll always be the ops. And just because you had some glimmer of, like a moment of clarity, doesn't change that. For the people that support bigotry, fascism, racism, all of these things, when you guys get your moment of clarity, there will be no pass for you either. This is not one of those things that you can be able to like live past. Your decisions of putting this country in harm's way, making people have to suffer, making people not have SNAP benefits, their medical benefits going up, their premiums rising, kids not having school lunches, the USAID, where millions of people have died just because you don't want to give food that we don't use to these people that desperately need it around the world. You got ICE agents that are going ahead and pepper spraying babies in the street. All because you have a singular focus of, hey, we're trans in schools, trans in sports is dangerous. What I'm here to tell you is that you're idiots. And whenever you have your moment of clarity, you'll always be idiots. Because you don't care about your fellow American. You only care about yourself. You only care about how you feel personally. And because of that, this is why we're in the state that we're in. This is why you have people that are grifting on one side, grifting on the other side. They're taking APAC money on this side. They're doing this BS over here. You got Trump that's losing his mind, dementia Donald in the White House. He's looking at Zoran Mamdani like this is his new BFF. Like, what's happening? What timeline have you dropped into? Where people can't think for themselves, where civics has gone out the window. People don't know what the hell to do. They have no idea how government functions. They don't fact check. They just sit down there and listen to one station or the other all day long until they get brainwashed, and what they hear is just nauseating garbage. Does anybody honestly believe that we're going to get the real files released without that being some new document that dementia Donald is not going to be in? Open your eyes, man. Realize where we are and realize what you guys put in charge. Where you have the Coast Guard talking about, nooses and the SWAT sticker. They're no longer hateful speech things anymore. They're no longer you looked at as hateful rhetoric anymore. No. Are you shocked? Are you shocked that there's an increase in neo-Nazism in America? Are you shocked? Are you shocked that the most dangerous person to be running the streets in America are white males? Are you shocked? Are you shocked that the young 18 or 15 to 25-year-old white men are going to this extreme culture? Nick Fuentes and his Groyper group and all this other stuff. Are you shocked? So all of these things don't seem shocked when they continue to unfold. And when you have your moment of clarity, just remember, you don't get to walk it back. That is a badge of honor that you will wear for the rest of your life. Until next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.